We've made some recent enhancements to our calculations feature, which Tim is going to take you through now. Plus, Tara gives Tim a couple of different scenarios to model at the end.
So if you've used a family property balance sheet, you might be familiar with our little calculator icon that sits on the top right here, allowing you to model a variety of different scenarios like a 50-50 split or a 60-40 overall split. And you can click this calculator and simply put in those targets here in these boxes, click apply, and then have a look at how that quickly works out on your balance sheet. You will notice now a couple of other new options here. There's a really helpful clear button. So if you do have a 50-50 split and you want to just clear that out, you can do that just by clicking there. The other option that you will find here is the show two pool calculations. So what you can do now is say 50-50 and show me the two pool calculations and click apply. And then what that will do is if I just scroll down a little bit further here, it will then show that total including super and then that total excluding super. So I can now quickly and easily turn on and off, as you can see there, that breakdown between the two pools straight from my calculator button. So the feedback that we was getting there is that you do want to see those calculations quickly and easily. And so now you can do that straight off the calculator menu. You also notice in this new layout that the top menu here is now sticky, I guess. It stays up the top there. So as I am scrolling through my balance sheet, it will always stay here, allowing you to quickly and easily access those calculations, toggle net proceeds, access versions, and things like that without having to scroll up and down throughout the balance sheet. So a few little tweaks and enhancements that have come there. But let's dive into some of those outcome scenarios that Tara introduced. So I'm just going to go back to the calculator, and this time I'm going to click show all options. And what you'll see here, I'm just going to turn that to no, is that we've grouped 4 of our calculation or outcome settings up the top here. So some of them will be very familiar because we've had them in the product for a while, such as apply an overall percentage split. So that's your scenario where you want 50-50 across the entire asset pool. But we've also introduced a new one here, which is apply a percentage split for non-super items. So that non-super pool assets and liabilities. So you can choose yes to this, put in your target for the non-super pool and apply it that way as well. As well as that, we've still got the percentage split target for the super pool only, and you can use these two together or this one and this one together. So you can actually have a combination of target percentages if you want, giving you a lot more flexibility now around the target percentages and the different pools, your overall, your non-super pool and your super pool targets that you are looking at. As well as that, the fourth one is your target net asset outcome, which is the scenario where you might have a party wants a particular dollar figure from the entire asset pool. You can use that as well. And then finally, just to introduce down the bottom here, you do have your balance sheet settings, again, toggling those two pool numbers down the bottom and excluding super entirely from the outcome calculations, which is specifically relevant for our Western Australian family law matters. But a new option that we've put here based on your feedback as well is this save and preview outcome. And this is, I hope, will really improve and increase your productivity, because what you can do now is you can select any of these targets here. Let's say it's my 50-50. And now previously in family property, you'd need to click update and then go back to your balance sheet and then scroll down to the bottom to see what that impact, this impact here would actually have on the overall outcome. Now what I can do is I can just click save and preview, and you'll see it exactly here. The entire outcome is calculated for you and displayed without having to leave the settings window. So I can see that there needs to be a cash adjustment applied, and I can see that my outcome's 50-50. I could quickly turn on my show two pool and do the same thing. And again, I can then compare those two sets of numbers, including and excluding super, again, without leaving this window. I could then fine tune this a little bit further and say, well, what would a 60-40 look like? Click save and preview. And again, I can see exactly how that's going to play out in the numbers, all without having to leave this window. But once you are ready to kind of get back to your balance sheet, you can just click update, and then you're back into your balance sheet. So there's a few enhancements that have come to the balance sheet. Again, you'll start to see these in your family property account in the next day or two. Over to you, Tara.
Great. Thanks, Tim. I'm actually personally very excited about these features. We do get a lot of feedback, perhaps for mediators that may not be numbers people, and I think that these, breaking it up into the pools is going to be really valuable and really help with confidence when we are trying to model out those proposals. So very excited about those ones. And we do have a couple of scenarios that we thought that we would model out so that we could demonstrate some different outcomes. So if you don't mind, Tim, modeling out some scenarios for us.
Yep, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, hit me with them. Okay.
Put you on the spot. Now, could we model a scenario where one party is going to keep 60% of the non-superannuation assets, so a 60-40 split of non-super assets and a 50-50 split of superannuation?
Yep. So 60%, 40% of non-super, and was it 50-50 of the super?
Yep, that's the one.
50-50 of the super. Fantastic. Okay, so let me share my screen here. There we go. Can you see that okay? Yep. Okay. So back to my fictitious scenario here. So there's two things that we want to do here. Is not an overall, but a non-super pool split of 50-50 and a super pool split. 60-40 and a super pool split of 50-50. So I'm going to click on the calculator and go show all options. And what I want to do is apply the first one, which is your percentage split for non-super items. I'm going to put that to yes. And let's say it's for Sophia party B. So I just put in my 40-60 or whatever your target might be. That's the first thing that I want to do, is apply that. And then the second one was a 50-50 of the super. So that's this one here, percentage split for super. I'm going to click yes. I'm going to put in those targets, 50-50. Now, you do need to select the superannuation fund that's going to be used as the splitting fund to reach that outcome, which I've done. And I can click updates to see how that would work there. So we've got the total excluding super. So my non-super pool is 60-40. There does need to be a cash adjustment applied to reach that outcome. So we can see that there. So that's that scenario there. And if I just click update, we do want to come down to super. So let's have a look here. So the A and B super fund has been automatically split there for me, as we can see, to reach the outcome of 50-50. So that's the super target has been reached there. You'll also notice up here next to the title, you can visually see that we've now got those two outcomes applied. And if I hover over them, I can see a confirmation of what's been applied there as well. So if I move there, I can actually see my three pool outcome, 50-50, my 60-40, and then my overall is calculated there as well.
Excellent, thank you. And we do have one more. So we'd like to model a scenario where one party would like to walk away with $1 million out of the pool.
Yep, $1 million out of the pool. Yep, no problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share my screen again. You can see my screen. Yep. Fantastic. Okay, so back to settings. So in this case, I'm going to just turn those two off. I don't want to use either of those because we're not talking about percentages now. In this case, I think you said $1 million. So one of the parties would, pardon me, one of the parties would like to have an outcome which is at least $1 million, if not more, from the entire asset pool. So in that case, I want a net asset outcome. That's this one here, and I want to put that to yes. And so what you'll do is select which party has that intention. So in this case, let's just say Alexander, and then you put in your target amount in dollar figures there, and then click apply. And so what that should do then is that will then hopefully reach that outcome. So in this case, Alexander's already receiving more. And so we can see that that's been received by that cash adjustment there. But as I, change the other percentages here, that will then continuously recalculate. So to ensure that Alexander will receive at least, if not more, depending on how the outcome is already modeled, of $1 million.
Okay, thanks for that, Tim.